All right, what's going on, guys? This is David for Flix Talk Podcast, and we are back with another co-host edition of Flix Talk Podcast. What's going on, Josh? How you doing?
Josh, this is Ron Stallworth. What's going on?
Ron Stallworth. Hey,
I heard your ad in the paper, and I was just responding.
Hey, with the right white man, we can do anything. Ain't that right, buddy?
That's right. What's going on, dude?
Okay, so obviously you guys know that we're probably talking about BlacKkKlansman, the biggest movie that's coming out this summer. I think it's probably the most controversial movie.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
This summer, and let's just go right into it. It's a biography, comedy, crime. I guess they call it a biography just because it's based on some true events, right?
Right.
It's clocking in at about 2 hours and 15 minutes. It came out August 10th, 2018. It didn't hit nationwide, I think, for a little while because I heard it was actually hitting more independent movies, theaters first. And so I got to see it. But I'll give you my little experience on it because there's I don't know if it's really a tidbit, but it's just like some crazy stuff happened. Me seeing this movie. So I already told you, Josh, but I'll let the audience know. So I went to go see BlacKkKlansman at my local AMC theater. I was really, really pumped because I'm using their new, AMC stub. What is it? Stub A-list, right?
A-list, it's awesome.
Yeah, and you're part of that as well. So, I saw mile 22, which sucked, but it worked. It worked, right? It worked for me. So I was happy about that. And so then I went to go back just by myself. I Friday night I went to go see BlacKkKlansman. Actually, it was during the week. During the week. Saw BlacKkKlansman. So I got my ticket, sat down. The theater was not packed. It was because it was like the middle of the week. I think Wednesday or Thursday, and maybe about 7 or 8 people.
Wow.
So everything's going on, and it's been out for a couple of weeks. So to see even people in the theaters, I mean, it's pretty cool, especially during the middle of a week. So movie starts and the volume is really low. Have you ever been in a movie theater and the volume is like really low and you get like kind of like about it? The volume for about an hour and a half of the movie is really, really low, but after a while, like it just kind of adjusts with me, and I kind of get into this movie. Then all of a sudden, some of the frames like start to loop and it goes brrr, and I was like, was that part of the movie? Was that Spike Lee's vision to do that? I didn't know what was going on at first. And I kind of like look around and it didn't really affect anybody else. So a couple minutes go by and it happens again, and it just happens for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, okay, something's happening. So then after 5 minutes, it happens again. And then I just stand up and I go, okay, I guess I'm the only one that's going to report this error in the movie. And I just kind of walk off. And I went to management or, the employees that were working there. And I go, hey, this digital file or whatever, because everything's digital now. It's not an actual film, real.
Right.
They're showing it on a projector, but they're using like a digital file. So, I understand, files get corrupt. My brother was telling me he went to go see that, new Jonah Hill movie, the mid-90s film. And he was really stoked he was going to go see it. He's in New York. He was going to get to see the premiere, right? And he's like, they announced like a minute before it was supposed to go off that the file was corrupted. So I think this is what we're going to have to deal with. Corrupted files, dude. And I'm like, okay,
what's going on?
Yeah, this is really bad, So I go report it. They go, okay, thank you, that. So I go sit back down, and in 2 minutes, after reporting this, they crank the volume up to even like a deafening level. And I'm like, whoa, like it sounds like they're screaming at me now. I'm like in the middle of the theater too. I'm not too close. I'm not too far. So then, I can hear what's going on now, which is awesome. You get that full experience, right? And then... Right. 5 minutes later, it happens again. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Is this like the remix, DJ Khaled remix or something? Like, Jesus. What the fuck? So I just stood up and I walked out and I left. So unfortunately, guys, I did not see the last part, which I heard was the most epic of BlacKkKlansman. So when the time comes when we start talking about the third part of the movie, I guess Josh will have to fill me in because I didn't see it. But you did see it, Josh, right? And what did you think overall before we get into details?
Oh, my God. Epic. Almost spine-tingling for me. at the very, very, very end. But there are just some parts that you're just like, wow. Not only to see the actor do that, it's just like, I was thinking the whole time, how could he do that? How could he be around all these white supremacists and be okay?
Like, are you talking about the actor of it's played by the guy that played Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah. Not him. John David too.
Oh, okay.
There was a part where John David Washington was had to be a security guard for them.
Oh, okay. So you're jumping ahead. Okay, so right off the bat, guys, this movie does start. It actually opens up with Alec Baldwin giving a very, very racist speech.
Right? I didn't expect to see him. Did you?
I did not expect to see that. But like you were talking, you also mentioned John Washington, who plays Ron Stallworth, and I thought you were talking about the character of Adam Driver, who plays
my bad.
I thought his name, he plays Flip Zimmerman. I didn't even know his name was Flip, but okay.
Yeah.
So
well, they like barely say it though.
Yeah. So he kind of plays the physical form of Ron Stallworth because Stallworth, and Ron kind of just picks up on this case, right? And he wants to infiltrate. He wants to make a big impression, is what it is, on being a rookie cop. And did this happen? What year did this happen in?
Around 1971, 1972.
Okay, so you got the early. You get the whole nostalgic feel of the 70s. At least I did. And there's not too many black cops working the beat, quote unquote, working the streets on, police level. And there's a lot of political turmoil going on. There's a lot of not political party, but you have a lot of race tension going on because there's a lot of, the segregation was being abolished, and you still have people that are upset about that, obviously. Right. And so there wasn't too many African Americans kind of taking roles in, police departments or anything like that,
Yeah, you were either Black Panther or Citizen.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it made it seem like in a couple of the instances, where he does go to the Black Panther rally, student union rally, and they they're preaching about how black is beautiful and this, but it's almost like if you're black and you're not with us, you're against us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not really in a violent tension, but it's they really want to unify all the black people, right?
Right.
So right off the bat, I thought I'm gonna just talk about kind of what I saw. Like I said, I only saw about an hour and a half of it. And by the way, this movie is directed by Spike Lee and produced by Jordan Peele, who directed Get Out, which was the biggest movie of last year. And I thought I'm probably going to be the first one to say this, but I didn't think this was Spike Lee's best work. And I've seen a lot of Spike Lee movies. I did like what I saw, but I didn't think it was his best. And I could definitely name you a couple of other better Spike Lee movies, I think, to my knowledge.
Right.
So to me, Malcolm X was definitely more impactful. Even Bamboozled. Do you remember Bamboozled at all?
I don't think I remember Bamboozled.
Okay, that's the one where it has I believe it's Damon Wayans. Yeah, Damon Wayans and Jada Pinkett Smith are the big stars in it, and it's the whole thing about where he's tired of working on it. He works at a WB, channel, like CW, those TV channels, right, that always show the sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he's just sick of it, portraying the whole stereotype. So he wants to create a show that's so racist, it's going to get him just kicked off the network, right? But then he develops a show so racist that everybody likes it, and it kind of backfires in his face. I think Bamboozled is probably one of the better Spike Lee films as far as race and tension. So definitely check that one out, guys, if you guys don't know about that one. And even Do the Right Thing, I thought was better at talking about race and tension. I felt like for this one, and I'm probably gonna get crucified, but yeah, they were saying the N-word, but I just didn't feel it. I don't know. I just felt like it was being forced in there, and it was to me, I didn't feel. I don't know. I didn't feel it even as much as, and this is really cliche, but as much as a Quentin Tarantino movie
or American History X or something.
Yeah, or even that. I mean, that was to me that was a better filmed and directed movie. Like, I felt more tension. I don't know. Maybe it was the lack of music or the lack of cinematography from this film, but I just didn't feel it 100% that, yeah, these people are racist that they're dealing with. The Klan. I remember they didn't even want to be called the Klan at first. They want to be called the organization.
Right.
You know, but even from these few men, because it was only like 5 or 6 people like in their organization of white supremacy, I just didn't feel like these people were 100% like hardcore Nazi racist. Did you? I don't know. That's just me.
I mean, I think 1 out of 5 I did for the fat guy. I feel like the fat guy was more racist than
Yeah. And didn't he remind you kind of that fat guy from American History X? Like, he was like the dumb fat racist?
Yeah, just not as big, I guess.
Yeah. So it's like, and I know that's probably going to be a little weird because this is being revered as like a very, very controversial, especially for this. I mean, it probably is for this year, but not of all time. I'm gonna say this is not Spike Lee's best work, just in my eyes. And it drug on, and some of the dialogue was very, very dull. It was just like I understand they're developing characters, but I just wasn't pulled in as much as I think the hype wanted me to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you got I know you thought it was epic, and you have a different view. So why don't you talk a little bit about what you felt in this movie?
I felt that the dialogue was engaging to a certain extent, but the first hour is totally just a setup. It's a setup of what's going to happen and just introducing the characters, character development. And in the last hour is when it hits you. But actually, the last, 10 minutes of the film, I would say.
And that's why it's a little hard for me to even talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
It was because I didn't get the full extent. And like I said, the theater kept acting up. You know, the sound was up or down, and all that glitching and stuff really kind of threw me out. So, but like I said, I'm just going off of the first part of what I saw, guys. And I don't know. Have you seen any other Spike Lee movies at all, or?
25th Hour. Malcolm X, I was going to tell you Josh's little tidbit of the day. I only have 2.
Okay.
Malcolm X, John David was in that too. John David Washington was Malcolm X's son.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
He was 6 or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were saying that he's Malcolm X's. I mean, Malcolm X, Denzel Washington's son in real life, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's something I didn't know about either.
I didn't either. I went home and I was like, that dude looks so familiar. Who is that? And I Googled it.
Yeah. So John David Washington, who does play Ron Stallworth, I thought he did a great job, and I'd never seen him before. Yeah. I mean, he's probably been in other things other than Malcolm X, but I thought he was a good leading man. I thought he had a good level head on his shoulders. He did not fit the stereotype of a black man in the 70s as far as and there's that really, really funny scene where he's talking to the Klan's leader. What's his name? Oh my God.
David Duke. David Duke played by Topher Grace.
Topher Grace, exactly, from that 70s show. So he's talking to David Duke, and he goes, hey David, how do you know I'm not just you don't get black people calling up just disguising themselves as white?
Yeah.
Remember that scene?
Yeah, that was
I thought
classic.
That was great. That was a great bit.
That was great.
And the fact that the guy, his superior spit out the coffee, I thought that was fucking amazing. That was great. Right. That was probably the small bit of humor that we got in the movie. I felt like this movie was way more serious than satirical at all.
Yeah, I feel like they couldn't make it comedic because otherwise there's something wrong with you. But the other part that I really enjoyed was their superior, that guy with the glasses. I forgot his name. He's like, are you jerking my chain? Are you jerking my chain? Because now I'm getting a full circle jerk. That was hilarious.
Yeah. So it was, I love the characters. I love the character development. Like I said, it might have just been a little too long. I mean, like how we get that Quentin Tarantino effect of these scenes drag on. I didn't think the scenes drag on too long. I thought it was just, It was just
boring dialogue.
Not boring at all. It's just some of it was unnecessary. It was kind of just thrown in there, and I understand it. They're trying to develop this guy as not your stereotypical black dude in the 70s, and I think he was really trying to step it up, where a lot of people wouldn't have. I mean, it was very ballsy for him to do what he was doing, rather than just kind of thrown into the whole records room that he started off in. That was very boring work to him. Right. And then there was also that whole scene where he's dealing with racist cops as well. You know, the guy's like, I got a beat. What do you say? I got a file that I need pulled on a toad. Now, I didn't realize it at first, but I'm guessing toad is a derogatory term for a black person.
Yeah, just like frog and all those other.
Well, I'm guessing toad because toads are black, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's what I finally picked up after a while, and he's like, we don't have toads here, we have human beings. So the fact that he was surrounded, I mean, you know, as a black person in the 70s, I mean, I can only imagine how much, you know, but he played a very professional way about it, and a very cool, calm and collective. You know, he had a cool, calm and collective nature and a head on his shoulders, you know, where a lot of other people would just get furious and pissed. And then that whole scene where he tells Flip, he tells him, he goes, you're Jewish. And he goes, you're involved in this as much as I am, aren't you? Doesn't that make you mad? You know, it was really, really cool. And I thought they worked well together, you know, and like I said, I mean, it was building to something that I didn't get to watch. So maybe you do want to talk about, you know, the third part of the movie. Not spoilers yet. Not spoilers yet. We'll do some spoilers at the end, guys. But just a little bit about how you felt towards the end of the movie.
I felt that the dialogue reaching up to that point and all the other scenes did it justice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was 100% accurate, because there were some scenes that some of the stuff was made up. Like, for example, there were no bombings. They didn't bomb this gay club that they talk about in the movie, and other bombings. But actually, there was also, under Ron Stallworth's detective work, they didn't burn any crosses either throughout the whole time.
Now, can we really quick talk about a video that I saw? It was actually someone talking about the director of Sorry to Bother You, that movie that's getting so much different reactions. Some people are saying it's a masterpiece. Some people are saying it's utter shit. Like, it's like artsy, fartsy shit. Like something that got like kind of pushed in people's faces to be artsy, but it wasn't really. You heard about that movie, right? Sorry to Bother You?
No. What is...
Really? That's the guy from Get Out was in it? I mean, not the main guy from Get Out, but the guy that they actually kidnap at the beginning of the movie, and then they kind of, remember they like mess with his brain, and he's like, get out, get out. Remember he tells the guy, get out?
Yeah, the guy that was dressed like a old 1950s guy.
Yeah, he had like a little top hat.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the guy, that guy's the star of the movie. It also has Tessa Thompson. Anyways, so the director of that film, Boots, I think he goes by Boots, Bootz. He came out and he completely bashed Spike Lee on this movie. Did you know about that?
No.
So his conspiracy theory is that Spike Lee was paid off by police to change the story and make police look good in this film.
What?
No, really. Look it up. I'll send you the freaking link to it. It's a real thing, dude. It's an actual real thing. And he says that the whole story was changed around. And I'm just going off what you said, that some of the story was kind of not 100% fictional, right?
Well, that kind of makes sense because...
Or non-fictional,
I'll get to it later. Yeah, but it kind of makes sense now because I did read some other stuff, but I'll talk about it later about certain people that said something about the movie.
Now, would you say that that's kind of far-fetched for Spike Lee? Spike Lee's been someone that's very, very authentic to his films, and I think he backs his movies 100%, whether they're good or bad, because he's had a lot of bad movies. Like when I say bad movies, I mean reviewed bad. Right. I haven't seen all the movies. There's a lot of movies that I've actually wanted to see, like Chirac, I missed. A lot of his older movies, like School Days or Crooklyn, I have not even seen, and they're actually like said that they're classics. But Do the Right Thing, I think, is one of his best movies that deals with race. One of the best.
Definitely.
Yeah, yes. and it's just like, because it's so raw, it's so gritty. Everybody remembers not Radio Raheem. Radio Raheem, you're right? Radio Raheem?
Yeah, Radio Raheem.
Sorry, I got him confused with Raheem and Juice in the movie Juice with Tupac. But yeah, Radio Raheem, everybody remembers that the tension just broke when he got killed. So it's like, sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah, like, and even like that Bamboozle movie, which came out 18 years ago, dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he has his hits or misses, at least with me. But I don't think Spike Lee would do something like that, like take money from to kind of get back in the spotlight. I don't think he needs to do things like that. I mean, we know that he's had his tiffs with Quentin Tarantino and other directors, and like other things have been going on with him. So, but a lot of movies that say based on a true story or based on true events, I don't even think it said that at the beginning of the movie, based on true events. But a lot of movies that, I think it might have said it in the trailer though, we know for a fact that things get altered, right?
Right.
Just for the fact of it being a movie. So if it happens,
you gotta have filler. You gotta have
some kind of, sometimes, things need to, just go up like a roller coaster. You got some tension, then it drops back down, then up and down with the emotion and whatever's going on with the movie. So if it happened, it happened. But the fact that other directors are coming out bashing him, I think is stupid. It's dumb.
Yeah, I think they just want the limelight, man. They just want to, how they say, there's no news is bad news.
Well, but then you got to think though, this guy Boots, dude, his movie is at like 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why is he bashing someone else's movie when I think it got a higher review than BlacKkKlansman?
I don't know.
You got to think, does he know something that we don't know? Maybe. But
did they get to him? Did they get to Spike Lee? I don't think Spike Lee would budge.
I don't know. And also, I'm looking it up right now. Actually, Spike Lee was involved with a film called Clockers. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Oh. Yes. And that one had Harvey Keitel and it had a couple of good actors, man. And I'm a huge fan of crime and like quote unquote hood movies. I love those type of movies, dude. And that one right there is a great one as well. I understand he had a different vision for this movie, but it just didn't hit me on all aspects. It was kind of like, I'm not going to lie, a couple parts I nodded off in. It was a little boring. That's fine, Josh. It's fine. It happens, dude. I know you loved it so much, but like I said, I got to go back and watch it. I might go back this weekend or wait for it to come out on VOD, and we'll do an update. How about that? We'll do an update of...
All right, part 2. We'll do part 2 of...
Yes.
Part 2 of BlacKkKlansman. So, but I didn't have any real gripes with the movie other than the pacing a little bit. But we're already 20 minutes into this video. What do you want? Do you want to talk about some spoilers about the movie?
Yes, but first I want to know. I want to know who's your favorite character.
Oh, good. I really like Ron Stallworth, who's played by John Washington. I thought he really stood out. I thought he was solid. I liked. I think I like Flip. I thought he could have, played by Adam Driver. I thought he could have kind of pushed himself because every time I saw him, I thought of Kylo Ren. I think when you look at that actor, you just think of Kylo Ren from Star Wars.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I didn't know it was Kylo Ren.
What?
It was the mustache.
Oh, come on.
I was talking with my girl earlier. I was like, who the fuck? She's like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Right? Like,
yeah. Definitely. I just kept thinking Kylo. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. You're in another movie. Like, push your acting ability. And I thought he was just like, well, okay, I'm here, John Stallworth. Oh, hell yeah, white America. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like it could have been pushed a little more. Like, yeah, he stood out amongst the white nationalist, or the organizers or the organization, whatever you want to call it. Because he could shoot. He kind of stood. One thing, he physically stood out because he was taller than all these guys. Did you see how fucking tall he was?
Yeah, he's pretty tall.
I think he's like actually 6'3" or something in real life, dude.
Giant.
Yeah, he's a giant. So I think his power, he just kind of towered over these guys, and I thought he was he's 6'2.5". Okay, 6'2.5". I thought he was decent, but he could have pushed it a little more, the envelope a little more. But I like the main actor of John Washington, so I like our main guy. I thought he stood out.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to agree with that. But there were some instances where I felt like Ron Stallworth could have displayed more emotion when he went through all that racial tension.
Yeah.
He was just so too confident over it. Like he just rolled over his shoulder like it was nothing. And I'm sure that was hard to do when you're surrounded by all these superiors that you can't even relate to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I didn't even know that Laura Harrier, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. She was the one that played the leader of the Panther part. It's not Panthers. I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was just like a black.
It was some like party organization.
Yeah. So I don't want to get them confused, but she was like the leader of that student union. And I did not. She was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. I didn't even know that she played Liz. Spider-Man: Homecoming. So she was someone that was kind of. I wish she would have got a little more screen time. Well, at least from what I saw, an hour and a half of it. I wish she would have got a little more screen time because I was actually kind of getting pulled into her character a little more when she was talking to Ron. Back and forth, like when they were in person. Right. So I was like, okay, what's going to develop from here? Because he's on both sides of the fence. I mean, he is a quote unquote pig, which she kept calling. She's like, he got all upset. He's like, don't call them pigs. I don't like that word. Right. And she's like, why are you a pig? Are you a pig? And so it was, and that's that's a part that I got to when he exposed himself as I'm an undercover.
Okay, that's where. Okay.
That's the part where it was like, so I'm like, God damn it!
I'm an undercover.
Yeah, I'm an undercover.
Is that how it went down?
I'm like, great, thanks. But
oh my God.
Yeah, they were getting kind of close and stuff like that. And I like to see I like their relationship. I'm gonna tell you something. My favorite part of what I saw was I don't know the actor's name. Maybe I can pull him up. But the black actor who played. The guy that was giving the speech at the Panther, this is not the guy. But he also got harassed by the cops as well. And that part, I'm not going to lie, that part did give me like goosebumps a little bit when they were getting kind of harassed by they were getting harassed by the cops and getting kind of shaken down, and they were touching the women, and she's like, let me go. And that part kind of got me, dude. That was pretty effective. Like as far as emotionally, you can kind of feel. You could feel for them, like you could feel the anger inside, like how you would feel if you were getting groped, or if you were getting harassed by the cops and they were calling them the N-word and stuff like that. And that was, to me, that scene right there. I wish I would have saw more of it throughout the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it gets. You got to watch the second half, but that scene in particular that reminded me of Crash, but Crash was more touchy-feely.
I got you. I totally understand what you and Crash is one of my favorite films to rewatch. I know it doesn't have the best act, like you have like Ludacris, and he's not the greatest actor, but you have scenes like that where it's very unsettling. It's very unsettling to watch that and to know that happened like 50 years ago, 40 or 50 years ago. And it's just it makes me sick that we lived in a country like that. You know what I'm saying? And that things are still going on like that. You still have your bad apple cops, man, that are like that. Oh, yeah. Especially now more than ever with body cams and all this, people recording a lot of things. We know for a fact that there's a lot of racism still going on.
Yeah, I think it's just in different forms. If anything, things have changed, but they're not necessarily better. You know what I mean? People have just adapted and figured out different ways of hate.
Yeah,
I guess you could say.
Yeah. So I can't find this actor's name, but that's the guy that I was talking about, the one that gave the speech. I thought, do you remember when they showed the faces in the crowd? Like it showed individual faces. It kept zooming in.
Yeah.
Okay. The cinematography on that shot, on that whole scene was beautiful because you really felt like they were engaged and they were soaking up all of his words, and it felt like almost like a Malcolm X speech, because I keep going back to Malcolm X. I think Malcolm X is one of the better movies, one of Denzel's better movies, and we got to give that guy credit for that movie because Equalizer 2 was not doing it this year.
No.
So let's go back to those
sequel.
Yeah, let's go back to those movies that he was great in. But he's actually an actor that doesn't have too many bad movies, so I can't complain about him in that one. But yeah, dude. So I really, really love that scene, and we're almost 30 minutes into this. So do you want to jump into some spoilers for this film?
I'm gonna do some spoilers, but will it ruin your? watching it again.
or tidbits or whatever. Whatever you want to do, buddy. Let's do it.
I'm going to do some interesting tidbits. I don't want to ruin the movie for you.
No, you can do that. That's fine. I'm sure once I rewatch the movie, I'll forget all about it, about what you said.
So, okay, but first I wanted to do some interesting things I read up on. So, I guess 49 years later, the real Ron Stallworth was in a hotel, and he was about to meet up with Spike Lee there and discuss more about the movie. Because when he pitched the idea, like, he wasn't trusting all these Hollywood people and all that.
Right.
So guess who calls him?
Who calls?
David Duke. The real David Duke calls him.
Wow.
At the fucking hotel. And he goes, I really like your book. I've read it. And but I think the movie is portraying me in a negative light. Can you believe that shit?
I can believe it.
That is crazy.
That is funny.
But,
That's wild. And I saw a couple of videos floating around. I actually want to watch them. They were talking about David, because he is still alive, that David Duke, actually talks about BlacKkKlansman, the movie. And I kind of want to see what his take was on things, even though, being the leader of a hateful organization like this, which I will never understand. I mean, I will never understand people that want to divide this country by race. It does not make sense at all.
Right.
I just think it's so stupid. There is no, we're all one human race. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fact that we're not working together to abolish that bullshit is pretty upsetting. I mean, you would think,
So bleed the same blood, brother.
yeah, we're all bleeding the same blood. We're all going through the same bullshit. We all have our ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's financially, mentally, everybody's going through shit. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that people are convoluting it more by adding race into the mix, it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. I mean, we have, there's so many bills, so many bills. Josh, remember we were just talking about that? We're just living to pay bills.
I don't like it. If anything, the real people we should be going after is the IRS, the government, these corrupt organizations.
All right, I'm going to stop you there. I don't want to get a flag on this video. We're going to stop you there.
Okay.
We're going to stop you there.
Right.
But let's talk about some tidbits, okay?
Okay.
Go for it, buddy.
That was
that was it? Or?
That was pretty much it. There's one goof in the movie, but it's kind of stupid. Apparently, when they're at the bar, the rednecks are all at the bar, and the organization was at the bar. They were drinking this beer called Schlitz beer, or whatever. But I guess UPC codes haven't been invented till 1974. It's some lame ass goof. Yeah. It's stupid.
Wow, someone really noticed that, huh?
Yeah, like, oh my god, that's not right. They're not supposed to have UPC codes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, well, let's not go into spoilers then. We'll just kind of just.
I don't want to ruin the movie, David.
Yeah, I don't want to make this too long, too. We're already over a half an hour. But overall, I like the direction that the movie was going. But I'm not going to give it a rating because I didn't see it completely. But what is your rating on BlacKkKlansman, Josh?
I'm going to have to give it an 8.5, brother. The ending, it really got to me. It just...
Okay.
And it's not because... I can't even say it, but it just got to me. It just got to me, dude.
Okay, and that's what a lot of people were telling me too, because I did record last week that the video was, fucked up in the theaters and stuff like that, and I didn't see the ending, and a lot of people were telling me to go back and watch it because the ending is very powerful. So I will do that. I will promise.
And almost cringeworthy. Almost cringeworthy.
The end,
but not in a puppet master way.
The end is cringeworthy.
To me it is, because it's...
Oh, well, cringeworthy in a good way? Because cringeworthy usually means bad.
Well, you just gotta watch it.
Okay.
It's a crazy ending.
I'm confused by that, but okay, we'll leave off on that note, Josh.
All right.
Okay, so Josh gives it a high rating, guys. Let us know your thoughts, too, in the comments below. Like I said, I haven't seen this, but I will do an update video once I see the complete BlacKkKlansman film. Once again, in my opinion, not the best Spike Lee film I've seen. It's amazing that Jordan Peele was involved. I think he's a rising director and writer and producer and all that good stuff. I think he's a great actor as well. But I think they're actually already setting up for his next movie, which comes out early 2019. I could be wrong. Maybe like May 2019, April, May 2019. So that one looks, I've seen a couple of the cast members. Oh, it's actually going to have that actor from Black Panther that plays is it M'Baku?
M'Baku?
Yeah, the guy that
Really?
was from the Gorilla Tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's going to be in it. So, it looks really cool. Actually, also Tim from Tim and Eric, Tim Heidecker, is going to be in the film. Nice. I don't know how much you know about Tim. Do you know about Tim and Eric at all, or from Adult?
You sent me some clips.
Yeah, that bizarre Adult Swim show. But anyways, guys, we'll leave it on that, and make sure you guys hit the thumbs up if you guys are watching on YouTube. Also, subscribe to our videos and. Hit that bell notification, guys, and write some cool reviews if you guys are listening on a podcast, either iTunes, CastBox, or Google Play Music. All right, guys, this is David for Flix Talk signing out.
And this is Josh from Flix Talk telling you to keep on listening.